Subscribe to Teckoh on YouTube or you will forever be a bot at Fortnite.
What is up guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'll be doing a guide on how you can quickly improve your shotgun aim, showing you guys a brand new insane map, along with some simple and easy tricks you can implement to speed up your improvement even further. If you go on to enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like on it and consider subscribing as well if you want to see more videos just like this in the future. As well as that guys, if you want to go an extra step to help me out, it would really mean a lot if you could use code Teckoh in the item shop. It's completely free for you guys and it really does help me out a lot. But with that said, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Anyway guys, the first thing all of you should be doing when it comes to being better with shotguns is to simply make sure your practice is updated with all the shotguns you'll be using. By the end of last season, a lot of players were using weapons like the charge and the tactical in their practice, but now we've got a whole new loot pool with the shotguns being the pump, the makeshift, and the primal shotgun. So with that in mind, one of the easiest things you can do to improve your shotgun aim and be more comfortable overall in fights is to make sure all of your practice involves shotguns from the real game. Unfortunately, at the moment, there's no known way to get the makeshift and primal shotguns in creative, but hopefully it'll be possible in the future. In the meantime though, most of your creative practice should just involve you using the pump, and you might also want to focus on using the primal and makeshift in real games to make up for the difference. Overall though, in season 6, just try to make sure you're using the shotguns that are in the game each time you practice, and it might surprise you how much you can improve over time by simply doing that. Moving on from that though, my next quick tip is to focus on trigger patience. In this new season, since 2 out of the 3 shotguns are sort of slower weapons which hit for more damage, aka the pump and the makeshift, it's really important that your trigger patience is on point, that way you can win more box fights and consistently hit for more damage. If you don't know already, trigger patience is basically the act of waiting until the best opportunity to go for a shot. Having trigger patience essentially means that instead of doing what most players do and simply going for the shot the second you have the opportunity, you instead wait a short bit to get the most optimal shot off. You'll notice in a lot of pros gameplay that they do exactly this. They'll have an opponent near them, but instead of shooting right away and potentially missing the shot, instead they take a tiny bit of extra time to sort of line up the shot and make sure that they're getting good damage in. Building the habit of trigger patience will seriously make a massive difference in your gameplay and can help you dramatically if your aim is struggling in fights. Next up guys, this tip is a fairly simple one, but another tip that really does help a lot, and that's to ensure your crosshair placement is always optimal as well. When it comes to crosshair placement, it's really not the most complicated thing to get good at. All it really requires is that you build the habit of keeping your crosshair around head level when you fight. That way whenever you make an edit or another player edits on you, your crosshair is already close to their head, so you don't have to flick super hard and obviously increase your risk of missing the shot. And as a quick side note, another sort of mini category relating to crosshair placement is your edit pattern, aka the order in which you select tiles. Alright guys, so I figured this concept would be a bit easier to kind of just show you guys in creative. It shouldn't take too long. Basically I have this target right here, and there are multiple ways that I can sort of edit this tile, of course, or I guess this wall. You know, I can do a window edit, I can do some weird edit, I can do whatever I want really. But for the sake of example right here, I want to use this top right triangle edit, right? So with this top right triangle edit, there's 2 paths that I can kind of take. I can do it going up, or I can do it going to the side. Now what I mean by this optimal editing strategy is basically that you're trying to optimize your edit so your crosshair ends as close to your opponent as possible. So if I'm trying to use the most optimal sort of like editing path to reach this target, obviously I'm not going to want to go like this, because if I edit like this, my crosshair is literally up here. And then if I want to try to hit the target, I have to kind of just flick down super fast, and it just doesn't end up good. And then in that time that it would take me to actually like get an accurate shot off, the opponent would basically be able to just pop me in the face right then and there. So instead, what the most optimal edit would be, of course, would be to go like that. That way your crosshair is basically already closer to your opponent when you're making the edit. So hopefully that kind of gives you an easy comparison. Basically what we're trying to do here is edit so the end of our edit basically puts our crosshair close to our opponent. That way we don't have to worry about like repositioning our crosshair or like having to go for a crazy flick shot to try and hit our opponent. It's nice and smooth, fluid, and it allows you to get an easy shot off. So yeah, hopefully that makes it nice and clear. But with that said guys, hopefully those tips help you out when it comes to optimizing your gameplay to hit more shots and be better with shotguns. For the next part of this video though, what I'll be doing is showing you guys one of my brand new favorite maps by a YouTuber named Teckoh. This map is honestly insane. It has so many different scenarios for shotgun aim. It's incredibly useful, so let's get into that. Alright guys, so hopping into this map, this is actually the Season 6 warm-up map by Teckoh. If you want to get the code to this map, it's going to be up on screen right now. So going into this map, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to grab your weapons. So right now, as I said, most of the guns that are in the game aren't creative, at least in terms of shotguns. So what I like to do is I just grab a SCAR and a pump, and that's usually enough for me. With that said, there's an absolute ton of different scenarios here, so I'm kind of just going to go through them one by one. Starting off, we've got this Crosshair section here, which is a really cool scenario actually. Basically what this is a great way to practice your shotgun aim and your sort of like micro flicks. The way it works is basically you're going to have a target right here. You're going to be on this platform, and every time you shoot the target, it's going to respawn you but reposition your crosshair. So what you have to do is you have to like constantly like flick and go back to the target, and it's honestly just a really cool way to practice. It's really good for kind of like building your muscle memory for those flick shots and just like micro little, tiny adjustments you have to make when you're shooting somebody. But yeah, overall, that map is absolutely incredible, something I would definitely recommend grinding out. Now, from there, you actually have something that's really new and honestly super unique that I've never seen before in a map, and it's a solo aim duel. So this is honestly one of my favorite features of this map, is basically that you can now do aim duels, but you don't actually need an opponent to do them with. Now, obviously, it's not as polished as going against like an actual player, but it still has targets that are moving around, and it's super cool. So I'm going to hop in here. This map in particular is a 2x1, and basically it works like a normal aim duel. So you're going back and forth. You can kind of go up here, and it's like this 2x1 space where you just practice your aim. Now, obviously, it doesn't move perfectly. It's not like an exact replica of a real player, but it's pretty dang close, and honestly, it's just an amazing way to practice your aim. As well as that, you also have the 1x1 fight, which is pretty much the same exact thing, except there's multiple targets that drop in one box. So as you can see, basically there's just multiple targets that drop instead of one target that moves around, and basically you're just flicking around and trying to hit them as fast as you can. My aim is absolute dog water right now, so please don't roast me in the comments. But you guys kind of get the gist of it. Awesome stuff right here. But moving swiftly on from that, I don't want this to take too long. Obviously, you've also got the free build section, which is, I mean, you can just build whatever you want to build, I guess, if you want to like use it in a warm-up routine or something. Pretty simple stuff right there. But moving on, we've also got another really unique section, which I just don't know how Teckoh comes up with this stuff. This is honestly super unique. It's a bow training section. So as you know, they added bows to the game. It's kind of a controversial addition, and they're kind of trash, but one thing that a lot of players are going to want to do is obviously try to practice with them and get decent with them, which is why Teckoh built this range to pretty much practice with the bow. So you have three different options. You have 30, 50, and 70 meters. For my sake, I just do it in the middle, kind of like 50, and sometimes I'll do 30 or 70, but generally I'll just keep it in the middle. And basically this just allows you to practice with the bow. So obviously this is the boom bow item, which is from like chapter 1 season 8 or something like that. But if I remember correctly, guys, it still does have the same mechanics as the current bows that are in the game. Like the aim and stuff is exactly the same. Basically it's just like just a different name. But yeah, yet again, another awesome section that really, I mean, I guess it's not the type of thing that I would sit here and like want to grind out for hours, but it's definitely a cool little addition that you can do once in a while. I can definitely see it being pretty helpful. There's 3 different settings for different ranges, and if you just want to hop into this one for 5 or 10 minutes, just get a little bit of practice in with the bows, I definitely don't think that's a bad idea. And finally, guys, getting into the last, I guess, like side section of this map, it's going to be the box fight, which is basically just, you're building around and you're just practicing your box fighting, practicing editing. It's basically like a free build box fighting thing against these targets, and you just go around and, just practice your overall mechanics. So I guess this can kind of be applied to shotgun aim. Like, it does require actual shotgun aim, but I think it's more of like a box fighting mechanics type of deal. Overall, still another cool little section, though. You can use it in your warm-up or whenever you really want to use it, I guess. Finally, guys, we've got this main section right here, which is kind of the main purpose of his map. Of course, we've still got all these shotgun sections over here, which are absolutely incredible. I recommend every single one of them. And honestly, if you grind these out, I can see your shotgun aim getting insane. But I wanted to actually display the main purpose of his map as well, because honestly, it's really helpful. So this is the warm-up map, and basically what you have is a huge course. So this portal basically goes to his warm-up section, and essentially what it is basically a fully customizable warm-up. So what you're going to want to do is I'm going to head back to lobby, and you can basically select everything you want. Okay, so as it says here, you can shoot the sections you don't want to play. So let's just say I want to do Tunnel, Peace Control 2, and Combat 2. Basically what I'll do is I'll just get rid of every single other one, just like that, and then it'll just have these 4 in the course. So I'll hop in here and the one that's currently going, and it'll basically restart, and I'll be able to do it again. Okay, so I kind kind of messed up. You're supposed to actually change it before the first time you do it, but basically it's the same exact thing. I just select those, I hop in here, and then once I cross this line, it's basically going to start. So it has my customized course right here. I already missed a shot. This is not looking good for me, boys. So we got this little piece control drill right here. Pretty cool stuff. If I can stop missing my edits, that is. Okay. Guys, I'm just getting embarrassed. But yeah, basically, so we got this like piece control area, and essentially you can just customize what warm-up you actually want to do in here, which I find to be really awesome. I guess this is like a duo map thing. And then, yeah, so it's gonna basically go through each section. So that was the piece control section, I think. Now I'm on the combat 1 section. I don't know what section this is, to be honest. But basically, it has every single section that you requested. I'm completely throwing right now. I'm doing this completely wrong. So please, if you're doing these sections, please don't replicate what I'm doing. But yeah, guys, that's basically going to do it. With that said, guys, as a quick recap, this has a ton of different sections. The crosshair aim duels, you have the free build, bow training, box fight, and you have this customizable warm-up over here. Honestly, it's all amazing stuff, and I could not recommend this map any stronger. Once again, huge shout out to Tito, and I'm going to toss this code up one more time for you guys that want to check it out. But overall, hopefully this map helps you out a lot to improve your aim. It's all single player, it's all really easy to access, it's all in one, like basically one place. But with that said, everyone, that's gonna wrap it up for this video on how to improve your shotgun aim in season 6. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and drop a like, subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this, and if you want to help me out even further and show some extra support, feel free to use code Teckoh in your Fortnite item shop, as it's completely free and it really does help me out a lot. Thank you all for watching this video though, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.